Hey there guys, Next Strike here, back again for another video, and today I'm going to be doing my rant of Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Now a lot of you might be thinking after I say that title, or maybe just reading the title before you clicked on the video, how can you make a rant on a video game that is still in development and we know so little about? Well, what's interesting about this game is that even with the littlest of information that we've already gotten, we already know something very detrimental to the whole game, and that really irritates me. And if you follow some of the comments that I make on YouTube through Google+, you probably already know what I'm talking about, because I've stated this 2 or 3 times. But there was an interview, which I think it was with a Namco Bandai person. It was either that or a CyberConnect 2 individual, I'm not really sure, but anyway, there was an interview, and they were asking about updating characters because a lot of fans like myself are like, come on, they've been old since Storm 2. And the question was more or less like, a lot of people were wondering if characters like Rock Lee and Ino were getting updates because they've been more or less the same since Storm 2. And their response was, if they haven't evolved in the story of the Naruto universe, in other words, they haven't really done anything significant, then they will not be changed. That's more or less what they said. I mean, that wasn't exactly like that, but it was that's pretty much what it meant. And if you take that and you really digest it, it pretty much comes down to the characters are more or less the same. We'll change a tiny little thing or two like we do in the other games, and that's it. So, you mean to tell me that ever since Storm 1, we are going to have the same characters? Really, Storm 2, I guess, because Storm 1, it was all the time skip characters, and I can understand them not wanting to really change those around too much. It would be kind of pointless. But the Shippuden characters in Storm 2, I mean, it just seems silly to not change them. I mean, the characters have been in all of these games, and they should be changed. I mean, this is the main cast, and really, the main Achilles heel of all the Naruto games is that even with all the progression and the greatness that's been implemented in the single player from Storm 1 to Storm 2 to Storm 3 and all of the in-between games to the battle system and all that stuff, all in all, it makes the game dull when 75-85% of your cast is the same since Storm 2. And I was thinking that since they were making it on a new system, not only would the game be better graphically, have better effects, and I don't know, just be able to do a lot more with the game, I suppose. I also figured they would have to make new character models and make new combos and all that because it's a new system and they couldn't copy and paste anymore. But they're still copying and pasting. And also, I can't remember which video this was on, but someone pointed out that Hashirama's moveset in the playable demo that was somewhere that they were showing off is the same that it was in Storm Generations. That is terrible. Now people go off and defend it, well, why would they change his moveset? He hasn't done anything new, there's just this sage form, that's what all the newness is for. But ask yourself, do you really want to buy the same thing over and over again when they don't put any effort into changing it? Now people will critique Call of Duty and Madden and Assassin's Creed and all that other stuff. When it comes to Naruto, the holy grail, well, not just Naruto, but the Storm games, the holy grail of the Naruto video games, they're like, oh no, get out of the community if you have any critiques. That's really all it is. If you really look at the community, it's like, if you've got any critiques, get out. We don't want you here. And that's really not fair because it's people that critique that make the games better. Now, I mean, if it's like spamming, like this game's gonna be horrible, 2 out of 10, something like that. Yeah, I can understand that being annoying, but an honest critique like, change the freaking characters, Jugo's still in his pajamas, that's legitimate. And the fact that they're not gonna change the characters is ridiculous. And no matter what they do with Storm 4, it's already gonna be lackluster and it's already gonna be a letdown, if that's the case. If they decide to change their mind, wonderful. But since this is the last Storm game, and since they did state that, and people pointed out that Hashirama's moveset's the same as Storm Generation. I mean, even if you do changes to the battle system like Storm Revolution, where they did a lot of cool things to it, it's still pretty dull, and they don't really do that much when you have a lot of characters that are the exact same. So, yeah, I mean, really, despite whatever they might do in the single player, despite what other content they'll throw in, the fact that it is a fighting game and most of your characters are copy and pasted from the other games with very tiny, tiny little tweaks, I'm sorry, but the game is just gonna not deliver. Now here's what a lot of people have to think about, because this video is gonna get a lot of flack. Story-wise, from where we left off in Storm 3, there's not a lot of new characters that are going to be added in, or characters that are going to be changed or relevant to the story. So think about all the characters that are going to be from Storm Revolution that are not going to get changed at all. And think about all the new characters. Even if they add in all of the last characters and make them their own characters, which I doubt they will. I mean, it would be cool if they did, but if, let's say that they do still, it's not that much of a difference. There's going to be so many characters that are going to be the exact same. And why people defend that, I don't know. And that's not to say that the game's going to be bad, because I think it's going to be good. It's just, I think that's ridiculous. And, you know, people, the things that people ask for, like, oh, well, this character that was significant to the story of Naruto be in the next game, like, why do people demand that? Of course it's going to be in the game. People need to be more worried about characters being copy and pasted, because they say that they listen to the fans, which I think that's more selective hearing, if you ask me. But the fact of the matter is that they, at this point in the game, especially since they're switching systems, they shouldn't be copy and pasting. That's ridiculous. Come on. Really? It makes the replay value of this game just nowhere near where it should be. Adding one or two moves to some of the old characters does not justify. I'm sorry. Now people will say, oh, well, they don't have time to change all the characters. That's ridiculous for you to think that. Well, look at the current anime game that's about to come out, which this is going to cause another fight within the comments itself, Dragon Ball Xenoverse. All the characters, and there's going to be a lot of characters in that game, by the way. This is a brand new game, not copying and pasting anything. All the characters have unique fighting sets, movesets, sorry. Tons of moves. Each costume has its own moveset. Probably not its own unique combo set, but its own unique moveset. Okay? And tons of characters, tons of content. Take that, compare it to Storm 4. And Storm 4 is copy and pasted. Somehow that's justified. I don't really understand how. And people will still say that they'd rather take copy and pasted Storm 4 than what they're getting in the new DBZ. I don't really get that either. I guess people like it safe, but safe isn't always the best thing. And I guess another thing that really irritates me is that people will go and bash Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, or Dragon Ball Xenoverse, but then they will defend Storm 4. I've seen this because I have created comment threads that have gone on infinitely, and people have been on the side of Storm 4 as opposed to Xenoverse. Now, whether your thoughts on Xenoverse doesn't really matter. The fact that people will bash Xenoverse for this and this and this and this, but then Storm 4, like, no, Storm 4 is just, oh, it's so great. Come on, people, really? You're getting on that hype train way too hard. I mean, I can respect any sort of honest criticism from anything, but just defending it blindly, and just the fact that it's copy and pasting is just what's really getting me. And yeah, I know, Storm 4, it's not early in development. Some people say it's early in development. It's not. It's been in development since Storm 3. We all know that. So don't say it's early in development. It's definitely not. It's probably had roughly the same development time as Xenoverse. Roughly. probably a year less because it's coming out probably towards the end of 2015 if I had to guess. But still, probably had it roughly around the same time, and I don't understand the community sometimes. It defends the bad, rejects the good. I know people have their own preferences, and that's cool. I know both games still aren't out, so we can't really say until they're out. But the signs are definitely in a bad direction, and that's all I'm trying to say about the rant. Hopefully, I am hoping that this newest Storm game corrects the mistakes of copying and pasting, adds some new mechanics, which they promise, like battle damage and more particle effects and whatever else they're going to do. I don't know. Hopefully they do some really cool stuff. I hope so. I really hope so. And I hope it's a really good game because I have played the other Storm games. If you guys aren't subscribed to me, have played the other Storm games and enjoyed them. I play a lot of Dragon Ball Z games and enjoy them. That's why I make the comparison here. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off track here at this point. But just tell me below what your thoughts are on this video, any sort of insights you have. Of course, we're going to learn more about Storm 4 later as the year progresses when we have more cons and an E3 and events and all that other stuff. So until then, we don't really see or know too much, but yeah, that's just what we've heard in interviews so far, so unless that guy's misinformed, not looking so good. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Catch you guys later.